I'd like to yield to him for his opening comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Northern Triangle countries of Central America continue to face serious economic and security challenges that are threatening the region's stability and driving illegal immigration to the United States. This migration from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras is exacerbating the crisis on our southern border and straining the capacity of DHS's Customs and Border Protection. As a former chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, I understand the unique challenges we face at our border and am committed to using all tools at our disposal to address this crisis. One of the most effective tools we have for responding to this is targeted foreign assistance to Central America. This assistance supports the Northern Triangle countries' efforts to combat transnational criminal organizations like MS-13 that are involved in the trafficking of persons and drugs. U.S. assistance also promotes economic prosperity and strengthens democratic institutions and rules of law. This assistance merges security and economic support to create stability in the region and address the root causes of illegal immigration. The Northern Triangle countries have also responded with their own initiative called the Alliance for Prosperity to complement U.S. assistance, demonstrating their commitment to addressing their own challenges. Our assistance is having positive results. The chairman and I went down there. We were in El Salvador. We saw it throughout the region. USAID programs are increasing agriculture production, increasing household incomes, creating jobs, 78,000 jobs in Guatemala alone. Other U.S. assistance programs funded through States Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement directly support police enforcement operations, including those by vetted units like the FBI's Transnational Anti-Gang TAG units and DHS's Transnational Criminal Investigation units. Both have contributed to the indictments of hundreds of MS-13 gang members, the prosecution of criminal organizations, and collection of biometric data and individuals suspected of terrorism, violent crime, and trafficking through bitmap. Last month, I traveled again with Chairman Engel to El Salvador, and we witnessed firsthand how our assistance is driving at-risk youth away from criminal gangs like MS-13 by providing technical skills and employment opportunities. During our visit, we had the pleasure of meeting with President-elect of El Salvador, who expressed his unwavering commitment to working with the United States in every way possible to address the migration crisis. He also explained China's efforts to increase its presence in his country, but he favors closer engagement with the United States. Cutting this aid, in my judgment, would create a void that China is prepared to fill. And we heard that from the president of El Salvador. As a representative from Texas, this crisis on the border is taking place in my backyard, and I share the president's frustration. However, I acknowledge that more work and time is needed to fully address Central America's challenges and the continued migration flows to the United States. I believe that the decision to cut funding will make the economic and security situations in Central America worse, not better, triggering more migration, not less, to the United States. I also recognize that Congress has an oversight role, and I've made this clear by establishing a process which clarifies that we have the criteria to address 16 congressional concerns related to improving border security, anti-corruption, and human rights. In short, our trip to Latin America was significant. Meeting with the President of Colombia, meeting with the President of El Salvador, I think the chairman and I came back realizing these programs are highly effective and that cutting these programs would be counterproductive and make the situation worse, not better. And so I I want to thank the witnesses for being here today. I want to thank the chairman for holding this hearing at my request after we came back. I'll just anecdotally just share the story of the president of El Salvador. We were there the day the president decided to cut the foreign aid. And it was quite a shock to an ally, someone who's pro-United States, wants to be our ally. I think it's the wrong message at the wrong time. And I think this is ill-advised, it's reckless, and I look forward to the testimony, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Thank you, Mr. McCaul, and thank you for your leadership. We are largely holding this hearing this morning because of you, because we were so shocked sitting there in El Salvador at a time when the edicts came down to cut foreign aid. It just was so logical that it was the opposite thing that we should do, not cut aid. We should improve aid. If we want to make situations where people don't come to the United States, then we need to help them in their own country. It doesn't do anything except make the